So, dear students, today is the day on which I'm going to finish the second chapter. Some of the chapters were left unfinished. So let me share the screen with you, and then we will carry on our lessons. Okay, so dear students, in second chapter, I talked about the project management phases and then phases of traditional project management cycles. And the only two topics that were remaining in this chapter were pain curve and the phases of traditional project management. So let's get started with the traditional levels of project management. Okay, so dear students, there were some levels in the traditional project management. Okay, the functions specifically I'm going to talk about, like defining, planning, and organizing. In the first level, we have these three functions in the traditional project management. If you look here to the second slide, we have defining, planning, organizing, and controlling. So controlling function is increased in this level. And the third level, these students, as you can see, that there exists the closing function of traditional project management. So I'll be talking about these levels, inshallah, in detail. So let's get started. Dear student, the first phase, the first level in the traditional project management follows the, this pattern. Like, it consists of three main functions. That is defining, planning, and organizing, right? So this function is specifically followed by those project managers where the project manager and the client, they are the same person. Dear students, let me elaborate this, function with the help of example. And that example is like one-man show, right? A lot of students, what does one-man show means. So there is one person. He organizes, he plans for the event, he organizes the events, and he himself implement the activities involved in those projects. A one-man show, for example. So there is only one person. He performs, he plans, organizes, and he performs himself. So this level is considered to be simplest form of traditional project management. Apart from this example, there could be other examples as well. For example, there are a lot of students who are teachers as well. When they want to, deliver a workshop of 1 day or 2 day. So this person, he is also a project manager, and he organizes, he plans this seminar or this workshop, and he himself implemented. There are no other person involved in this. So in seminar, when you're organizing seminar or workshop, so this one person, he defines, okay, he goes for the traditional project management functions of defines, okay, then he plans, and then he organizes. So this is the simplest form of traditional project management. And more specifically talking about this level, if we look to the project type D, type D type, right? Those merely fits into the definition of the project. I talked about specifically, three examples, like when HR department is making policy, okay? So he actually, he himself, what we call, develop the policies, and he himself implement the policies. Okay, and apart from that, if the DBA department solely and only revises curriculum, okay, so it has to follow the simple form of traditional project management level, that is defining, planning, and organizing. In this level, the levels of activities, they are very easy. Okay, there are no complications associated with these activities. These activities are simple. Okay, they are simple in nature, and it does not have any fundamental problems, and it does not have any control functions. Okay, so I hope this is clear, inshallah. Here the project manager wants to implement a simple strategy. He follows a simple strategy that he wants the project to be started and to be ended. So for this reason, he is going to develop a simple strategy for carrying out the project activities. Apart from these, for example, if a carpenter, okay, if a carpenter wants to prepare a table for himself for the house, okay, so here the carpenter, okay, he is working on the project. He himself is the project manager, and he himself is the client. So he will be following only the defining, planning, and organizing function of this one. I hope this concept is clear to you, and there is no follow-up because of the simple activities. Okay, you don't have to you don't have to match your activities, okay, the actual activities with the plan activities. Okay, so you really don't need to follow up these activities because these are simple, the time duration is less, and the problem associated in these levels are less likely to be there. Okay, so I hope it is clear, inshallah. So moving on to the second level, dear students, activities, when the activities, they become much more in any project, so it is going to require more people. So when you require more people, dear students, so there will be a lot of complications. There will be a lot of activities that needs to be done. Okay, it cannot be done by one person. So you need a proper team to carry out the activities of the project. So in such cases, okay, so you don't want to go deviant. Uh, you don't want to go deviant from your planned work. Okay, so you simply rely on one level of traditional project management, that is defining, planning, organizing, and controlling. The controlling function here, it is increased due to the fact that when the activity increases, so you're going to hire more people. When you're going to hire more people, you'll be needing more resources, and you don't want the resources to be wasted. So the control function is put in place. They are put in place in order to avoid wastages and in order to avoid chaos in the projects. So the project manager is simply going to rely on on this level. For example, let me talk about, a lot of you are watching TV shows. Okay, I've talked about one man show that is related to the first level of traditional project management. Think about Kapil Sharma show. Okay, Kapil Sharma show. They are, the number of people involved in delivering that show is a lot. There are a lot of complications in that, and you need a lot of resources for that as well. So they will be following what we call another control function. Okay, another function that is control function. So the first cycle, it merely fits into the definition of project management, but the second level is specifically, it comes under the project management phases or levels. So when you have more people, then you will have more activities, and you'll have more resources, and the project manager has to apply the control function. And what exactly is the control function? Control function is actually matching your standards, okay, matching your actual work with the standard, and finding the significant deficiencies, or finding the significant deviation, and then trying to take, and then you're trying to take corrective measures, corrective steps in order to overcome those, deviations or those deficiencies or those gaps. So I hope this is very simple, and I'm going, faster, okay, because of the fact that it's easy. And I'm gonna let you ask me questions, inshallah, when I finish the, level of traditional project management. The third phase, dear students, if you can see here, only one another function has been added, and that is closing. Okay, closing of the projects. Okay, so when the project manager wants to learn from the project, okay, and he thinks that maybe in the future similar projects will be implemented, so I need to have a proper documentation of these projects. I need to have proper information archived. Okay, and the project manager wants to know that what lessons have been learned from these projects, what methodologies have been implemented in these projects, and what were the success criteria and how much the project has achieved its deliverables. Okay, so the project manager will simply rely on the third, what we call the third level of traditional project management, that is closing. Okay, so only one function is increased, that is closing. The project manager wants to learn from the project. Okay, and furthermore, the information received from these projects, they are archived. Okay, and the information is stored, and it will be, it will be used, the same, the similar information will be used in the upcoming projects in the future. Okay, because these projects will somehow give a strategy to the project managers where they can implement the similar projects in the future. It's going to give a path, it's going to give them a bridge, okay, on the basis of which they will be able to implement the future projects successfully. So that's all from the levels of traditional project traditional project management, or levels of TPM. So I'm gonna give you time for asking questions. Okay, let me. So what you need to learn in these levels of traditional project management, the first level was simple level, okay, and they were implemented by those project managers where the project manager and the client, they are the same person. So the project manager is trying to come up with a strategy to start the project and to finish the project. Activities are relatively simple; they're not complex. Okay, and the project manager in that level just want to complete the project. And the second level, when the activity, it gets complicated, when the activity number of activities are involved are greater as compared to the first level. So you'll be needing more people, and more people means you'll be needing more resources. In order to not to waste resources, the project manager is going to rely on the second level where there is control function. He has to follow the control function in order to keep the project on the on the right track and not to waste resources. And the third level was simply when the project managers wants to learn from the current projects, right? And they archive the information for using those information in the future for the similar projects. Okay, so he simply has to answer some questions. The project manager has to develop some questions on the basis of which he will or she will archive the information. For example, was the project successful? Has the project achieved its deliverables? Was the project according to customer satisfaction? Was the project according to stakeholders requirement? Okay, and there could be other more questions. When the project managers finds out the answer of those questions, so it is it is stored, the information is stored in form of documents or in form of final project reports, and these will be further utilized. Information will be utilized in upcoming future for similar projects. So the last topic in this lecture, we have the pain curve. Dear students, I'm going to talk about the pain curve. Uh, it is let me show you the graph of this pain curve. Okay, so being as a project manager, it's very important when you're planning for the project. Okay, if you are a project manager, and if you have one project and you are asked to develop two planning for that, okay, one is good planning and one is poor planning, dear students. So this pain curve actually shows that if you are planning, if you are going for good planning, so initially you will see the green graph, right? Initially the pain will be great. Okay, the pain means you're going to put your physical resources, your energy, your synergy. Okay, you go for brainstorming. Okay, so you spend a lot of time for planning of the project. Okay, so initially in good planning, it is very painful and it's very time consuming, but you can reap the benefits in the later stages of the project management. Like if you spend a lot of timing in the planning, okay, so ultimately the planning implementation and the project implementation and the project closing will consume less timing. If you see that the green line is decreasing, okay, and it matches with the x-axis, okay. So this simply means initially it is very time consuming. You have to suffer a lot of pain, okay, but your hard work will pay off later in the implementation and closing of the projects. Okay, I hope this one is clear to you. And the second one, dear students, if you're a project manager and if you are asked to do planning again, okay, but this time you actually do not spend much of your time in planning. You just want to get started with the project, okay. So you initially you do not give very much timing to the planning, initially, but you can see that you have to suffer later in the implementation and closing of the projects. I'm running out of time and I want to finish this. Okay, so as a result of this poor planning, you do not spend a lot of time in planning, but consequently, as a result of which, you will be unable to complete the project. As you can see, the red line, it does not, it's increasing, it's not decreasing, okay? So it simply means you're going deviant. You do not plan very well, and you're wasting project resources. The project is a failure, and you have to, terminate the project because it's not achieving its goals and objectives. So there is also a very good saying that a good start has a good end. So in a good planning, dear students, you simply have to spend a lot of timing in the planning. You have to include all those factors which needs to be, which can be a successful criteria for the project manager. So you have to accommodate all those factors, and you have to spend a lot of time in planning, and then the project implementation and the project closing will be easier for you in the good planning. While the poor planning, will you will suffer a lot of pain. You will suffer a lot of pain in the project implementation and project closing. So this was simple explanation of the the pain curve. Okay, so here there are some notes I have given you. The project with a good plan has higher probability of finishing and does not and does the poor planning project. Okay, then does the poor project planning. There's a lot of possibilities, a lot of chances that if you have done the good planning, so you'll be able to finish the project very well. And on the other hand, poor planned projects will lead to a failure. Okay, and as for if the quality is concerned, cost is concerned, and due to good planning, the quality will be better, the cost will be less, and the projects will be within the budgets. But as for if the poor planning is concerned, dear students, the project quality will be deteriorated. Okay, it will be worsened, the cost will be higher, and the project budget will be consumed a lot. In the last, I have it's a demonstration of the pain curve. And what does the pain curve demonstrates? It simply demonstrates that the proper planning is painful. Okay, initially it's painful, but pays off in less pain later in the projects. Initially you will suffer pain, but you can reap the benefits of this painful planning in the later stages of project life cycle, like project implementation and project execution or implementation or project closing. Okay, to not plan is to expose yourself to significant pain as the project proceeds. And if you do not suffer pain initially in so you have to suffer pain in the poor planning in the later phases of project management cycle. I hope it's clear to you, and I've got only 6 minutes, and I'm gonna give you time for asking me questions. Otherwise I have class at 4 o'clock. I'll be, inshallah, preparing myself for that as well.